This is Bev Herring with the Rich Thoughts webcast. For the last couple days, I've been sharing how to defeat and slay the giants that you may be facing in your life. Today I'm going to do a little wrap up, and I know maybe for the last couple days that you kind of was thinking, well, maybe she's going to talk about David and Goliath. Well, you're right, because today I am, and I want to wrap this up and let you know that God is not wringing his hands in heaven worrying about you, so don't, he knows everything. Don't go away, and I'll be right back after this. You know, I really wish that I had time to read the whole story of David and Goliath because it is so power-packed and impacting and just good. But I'm going to be making reference to this in 1 Samuel 17. If you have a Bible close, you can follow along. But today I want to give you 7 keys that you need to take care of those giants. The first one I want to bring up is show up in battle, ready to fight. You know, sometimes we don't get to pick the place or the time, but we have to be still ready to fight the good fight of faith. You know, in verse 1 of 1 Samuel 17, it says, the Philistines brought the fight to Succoth, which belonged to Judah. So see, the Philistines showed up and they were ready to fight, and then Israel had to get ready to come out. But they had something that they thought was their ace in the hole, you know. The thing of it is the motivation for the battle is very, very important. And David had several things going for him. First, he saw a reward that caught his interest, and one that would bless him on several levels. And then he also realized that Goliath was defeatable. You know, he was nothing but not just a Philistine, but an uncircumcised Philistine. He didn't have God on his side. And you know, third, he was already motivated to take, because he knew in the past he had taken a sheep from a lion's mouth and he had killed the bear that had been after the sheep. So he knew how to win in a battle. Bottom line, David saw the perfect opportunity and he took it. So we need to be watchful for opportunities of being able to slay the giants in our lives that God is placing before us. You know, in the last couple days we talked about God is testing us and proving us to know what's in our heart, and that's what takes us to the next level. Number 2, don't run from the battle. It says in 1 Samuel 17:24, and all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him and were sore afraid. So, you know, it doesn't say that David didn't run with the rest, but Goliath had caught him off guard. But it wasn't long before he realized, I can win this. You know, the devil likes to deceive us by taking our eyes off our purpose and putting it on the problem. And that's the only way he can defeat us. So we need to look for those things and get our eyes on the solution and not the problem. You know, there are rewards in there. And if we're looking around, you know, that's really what the Lord is bringing into our lives. Third, don't be afraid. You know, Goliaths in our life, giants in our lives appear to be overwhelming. And if you read that scripture in 1 Samuel 17, it said how much his armor weighed and how much his helmet weighed and all those things. And see, we get focused in on the problem and then we take our eyes off the solution. But there are 44 times in the King James Version and that we're told to be not afraid. And there are 66 in the New Living Translation where the scripture says, don't be afraid. You know, it means don't be afraid, but God is constantly reminding us and helping us. Here's a good one over in Hebrews 13:5-6 in the Amplified. It says, so we take comfort and are encouraged and confidently and boldly say, the Lord is my helper, and I will not be seized with alarm. I will not fear or dread or be terrified. What can man do to me? You know, if God is on our side, if God is for us, who can be against us? Then number 4, it says, don't worry about what other people think. You know, we can't worry about what other people may think. You know, in the final analysis, no one can fight our battles but us. And I talked about that yesterday with Asa in the army. You know, we're the ones who have to come to God because God knows what's in us and He can bring it around for us. Listen, I am got 4 more of this about don't worry about what other people think. So stay with me and I'm going to finish it up right after this.
You know, there's all different kinds of money. There's hard-earned money, inherited money, stolen money, gambling money, and the list goes on and on. I'm Harold Herring, president of the Debt Free Army, and I'm here to tell you about a very different kind of money, miracle money. I've discovered that God's miracle money is available not just to a select few, but to those who know how to reach out and receive it. I want to send you a free copy of a book that I helped develop and publish entitled Miracle Money. God told me to put this book into the lives of those who had the faith to pick up the phone and call 1-800-DEBT-FREE. If you're suffering economic hardship, if it seems you just can't make ends meet financially, then this may be the most important phone call you'll ever make. The book is free. The call is free. So why not pick up the phone right now and call 1-800-DEBT-FREE.
Learn about the miracle money God's holding for you. Call 1-800-DEBT-FREE.
Here we have number 4 on slaying the giants in our lives. It says, don't worry about what other people may think. You know, in the final analysis, we know that we have to fight our own battles. And, you know, other people may face shortages and things that are going on in their lives, but it says in 1 Samuel, let me just read 1 Samuel 17:28 through 30 in the New Living Translation. But when David's oldest brother, you know, you're going to have even relatives, Eliab, heard David talking to the men, he was angry. What are you doing around here anyway, he demanded. What about those few sheep you're supposed to be taking care of? I know what about your pride and deceit. You just want to see the battle. What have I done? David replied. I was only asking a question. He's asking some of the men about this. You know, sometimes co-workers can be that way. They don't want you to get ahead any more than they are ahead. You know, friends or family members, they get angry at your initiative and desire to have a better life. Why? Because your success can often reflect a lack of their success. And sometimes you'll have even your own, you know, family come against you. Eliab was upset because he was in the army of Saul, and his brothers and the soldiers, they couldn't stand up against Goliath. And here David's asking, you know, what is it that, you know, that I can do here? So sadly, you know, some people, instead of fessing up to their lack of success, want to minimize you. But you know what? You have to consider the words of Colossians 3:23. Says, whatever may be of your task, work at it heartily from the soul as something done for the Lord and not for men. We have to keep our minds on what it is that we're doing for the Lord. He's the one. You know, it says promotion doesn't come from anywhere but the north, south, east, and the west. It doesn't come from the north, south, east, and the west. It comes from the Lord. Only the Lord is going to be the one who rises and raises us up in our place of work or in any other endeavor. Here's another one. Number 5, you choose the weapons. You know, it's not going to always be somebody else's weapon. Saul tried to put his armor on David, but David said, I can't even move. I mean, I haven't tried this. Meaning, and I love the way this is, the word in the scripture is just so explicit. You know, it says, I haven't tried this. I haven't tested this. I don't know that this works for me, but he did have something he knew worked for him, a sling and 5 stones. So first, we want to get rid of anything that doesn't work for you. Eliminate, you know, the weaknesses, and then go to your strengths. You got to find something that's going to work for you. So David takes that off. And in 2 Corinthians 10:4, the Amplified says, for the weapons of our warfare are not physical anyway, weapons of flesh and blood, but they are mighty before God for the overthrow and destruction of strongholds. Understand, number 6, the rewards of winning. You know, God's in you to win it. Like Randy says on the American Idol, you're in it to win it. You are in it to win it. 1 Samuel 17:25 says, and the men of Israel said, have you seen the man that has come up surely to defy Israel? The man that killeth him, the king shall enrich with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. Now David, like that, and it caught his interest because there was a reward. Every battle should have a reward. Number 7, do something with what's in your hand. David defeated Goliath because he knew how to sling a stone from a slingshot. You know, even the little boy over in the stories in the Gospels, he brought loaves and fishes, and he became a hero because he brought a lunch. You know, we are not self-made. God has given something into our hands, and God can get the glory from using it through us. We have whatever we need. I hope you have enjoyed this study and gotten something out of it that's going to take you on into your future. I hope you will visit our website, www.debtfreearmy.org, Facebook and Twitter. And I hope that you'll continue to be thinking rich thoughts.